All right, welcome back. We're here at Go Live. Now we're sitting with the lovely Jeannie Evers, our senior television correspondent and the author of the Rabbit Ears blog. And this week you took up the task of tackling all of Amazon.com's pilot offerings. So can you give us a little breakdown of what these are?
Yeah, absolutely. Amazon.com, the place where you buy books and any other sorts of things, is getting into the original programming scene, and they've got 8 pilots for comedies and 6 pilots for kids shows. I didn't watch the kids shows, but they're there if you want to, amazonoriginals.com. And so I took a look at the 8 comedy pilots, and the deal is that users will watch it and they get to rate it by a star system, and they can write comments and fill out a little questionnaire or whatever, and the executives are going to look at that and look at number of hits on the videos and a bunch of other factors and decide which of the 8 to pick up to series. So it's kind of a new crowdsourcing approach to doing this, as opposed to just network executives saying, I want this and not that.
Now you selected 3 out of these 8 that you watched, and one of them not so good, and 2 of them that you thought were rose to the top. So let's focus first on the one you didn't like, which is one that had, I guess, I don't know if all the stars are recognizable. This had the most recognizable stars for me. That's Alpha House, and this is about a group of senators living in a crash pad. What I thought was interesting was that it has John Goodman and Mark Consuelos, a.k.a. Mr. Kelly Ripa. So give us your impressions of Alpha House.
Yeah, I mean, on paper it's got a lot going for it. All the senators are Republicans. And basically, they have a crash pad. So when they're in D.C., they basically all live in this house. And one of them at the very beginning is played by a cameo appearance by a Peninsula favorite that I will not spoil more than that. You could probably figure it out. Anyway, he gets arrested at the beginning, so now they have a bed to fill, and they are looking for a new roommate. And, it seems like it would be good, but it's just really slow and tired and kind of retread. I think they really missed an opportunity to create more natural conflict by having all Republicans. I think it would have been a lot more interesting had you had a mix of Republicans and Democrats.
Right. Moving on forward, you have Betas. Now, this is set in the Silicon Valley, and this is about 4 geeks trying to come up in that world, from what I've gathered. Now, give us a breakdown of this, and then I'm just curious. Do you think a show set in Silicon Valley can work? Do you think it's a viable locale for a sitcom?
Yeah, I think it is, especially because everything is so tech-driven these days. And this show in particular, I think, of the 8 that were on there, had the most fully realized characters. And the 4 buddies that are creating this app and are trying to get funding for it from an investor played by Ed Begley Jr., who is fabulous in everything, and he plays jazz flute with Moby. if you need any other incentive to watch this. But yeah, they're the most fully realized, and I got the sense that these guys would actually be hanging out with each other in real life. And I just, of the 8 pilots, I think this is the one that has the most potential to go somewhere.
And then finally, Supernaturals. All I know about this one is that it's an animated comedy, but I really like the tagline. It's not just an ancient doomsday artifact, it's a haven. And that's why it must be destroyed.
Yes. Said Doomsday Artifact is a crystal skull of Indiana Jones fame. But yeah, I think I might be alone on liking this one. It had one of the fewer hits on Amazon, and the rating is like hovering at 4 stars. And so I can't really explain how it appeals to me, but it's the one that made me laugh the most. And it's an animated comedy. It's 2 really sassy divas who are like supernatural crime fighters when they're not working at the mall. And it's just, it's a little outrageous, but the best elements are the 2 women who voice the characters are just like, they're back and forth with each other. Their sassiness is just hilarious. It's like listening to 2 of your favorite funny people talking to each other.
And you are going to be doing breakdowns of all of these over at MontereyHerald.com/rabbitears.
Yes, sir.
So make sure you go check that out. And once again, tell us where folks can check out these pilots at.
It's available on AmazonOriginals.com, and they should be up for a couple more weeks.
Okay, very good. Now, coming up, we're going to pit the young Jeannie Evers against the lovely Mac McDonald in a death match, a cage match over this week's episode of Game of Thrones.